This week, I have a very special guest who's going to be telling us her opinions about the astrology of 2024.
Hello, I'm Mindy Mendelsohn, and I'm an astrologer out of Sedona, Arizona. And this is what I would like to offer you for 2024. So I personally am viewing 2024 as a year very much as where we stand is at the crossroads, at the threshold of change. And there's three particular lenses that I see this through. The first one being what happens in January 1st. Mercury stations direct in Sagittarius. Now, this is significant for a couple of different reasons, most particularly through all of 2023. Mercury all the retrogrades rather, were in earth signs, and earth signs are very real, they're pragmatic, they're about things that are useful and things that we can touch. However, in 2024, all of the Mercury retrogrades we will experience after this station direct are going to be in fire signs, and earth signs and fire signs are two different tribes. Fire signs are about intuition, they're about imagination, they're about re-envisioning what is possible for ourselves in our lives. And here we have Mercury, literally the archetypal god, the messenger of the god of the thresholds, stationing direct, which means he's stopping and changing directions on January 1st. The out with the old and into the new herald happening right away. And then a mere 20 days later, the big transit that everyone's really talking about, Pluto moves into Aquarius, but a mere 11 hours earlier, the sun enters Aquarius. And why this is important symbolically is whatever the sun shines its light on, it gives life, it animates. So it's as though the sun is rolling the red carpet out for Pluto and telling us all, hey, put your attention here, it's shining a light on it. Pluto is the god of transformation, the god of death and rebirth. Pluto demands our evolution, that we change from an old form into a new. And when I'm speaking about this, what's springing to mind actually is the process of a caterpillar turning into a butterfly. First of all, what happens is the caterpillar weaves a cocoon, it cocoons itself. And many of you may know this. I didn't for years. It literally then digests itself. It completely dissolves into a goo. Then out of that goo, that sort of primordial goo, it then reforms itself and emerges from this cocoon, completely transformed, a completely different form than it was when it entered the cocoon. And that is a Pluto process. That is a Pluto transit. And we are going to be experiencing both collectively, because Pluto takes a long time to move. It'll be in Aquarius for 20 years, but also personally, particularly if you are a fixed sign, not just an Aquarian, but a Taurian, a Leonine, Leo, a Scorpion, or have any placements, particularly in this beginning period of 2024, early in the fixed signs. If you're looking at your sun sign, your birthday, you're really looking at any time being born, say, between the 20th and the 27th. You will feel this most immediately. But if your moon or your Venus or any of these planets, and you can go to any number of sites online or through any number of apps, find out what signs and what degrees, mathematically, there'll be a number that they're in. And if they're early, say 7 and under, I'd actually like to say 5 and under here, then you are most immediately going to be impacted in the area of life that Pluto is moving by this transit. You are going to be, in essence, cocooning, going inward, and dissolving yourself. Pluto also, when I said god of transformation, death and rebirth, Pluto, he rules our subconscious. He's the god of wealth, the god of hidden riches, the things we don't see about ourselves as we're speaking personally. If we look at this collectively, in the sign of Aquarius, Aquarius is a sign of the future. We're moving from Capricorn, a sign that literally rules the past. It rules lineage. It rules inheritance, into Aquarius, the sign of the future. And you can even see it sort of in what's going on in our economies right now. We're moving from the industrial age, which is a very earth-based type of thing, into the Aquarian age, which is, or rather the digital age, where we're so interconnected, whether it's through cell phones, whether it's through videos, whether it's through the internet itself. We've got artificial intelligence now. We've got self-driving cars. We're moving to the age of information, or conversely, the age of misinformation. And on a personal, certainly on a collective level, but on a personal level, this is really important. My favorite way to use astrology is for personal development. It's like the chart's like a compass. It points where you need to go. It's the map of your life. It's your soul's contracts, your soul's intentions. There's no accident when something moves over a particular part of your chart. So I always like to joke about this is about moving with your soul, because the soul will always win. You can either resist it and be dragged into the future like a screaming toddler when you don't do the things you know you need to do. Or you can lean into it, which means explore it. Ask yourself, how do I need to transform? How do I need to change? What do I know I need to do, but I'm a little afraid to do? And stretch into that, attend to it, intend it. So we're being asked to lean in. And when I talk about age of information and misinformation, Pluto rules our subconscious mind. Think about all the hidden stories we have about ourselves, our hidden beliefs that are getting in the way of us being able to move forward. Pluto in Aquarius offers us an avenue to consciously work, to shine a light. There's that sun on these hidden recesses within ourselves and transform them such that we are set free and can experience the freedom of moving. Now, the other lens here, beyond just Pluto moving into Aquarius, is very fascinating to me this year, is Pluto's moving from Capricorn into Aquarius, from earth to air. Jupiter's also very active this year, and it's moving on May 25th from Taurus into Gemini, from earth to air. Aquarius, Gemini, Libra are all air signs, and our eclipses are happening in Libra and Aries this year. So we got a lot of air going on, and air is all about making connections. It's about changing our mind. It's very fast-moving air. And the interesting connection between Jupiter and Pluto is they were brothers, but Jupiter was the god of the great above, the great sky god. And Pluto is the god of the great below, the underworld, our subconscious. So we've got our conscious beliefs and our unconscious beliefs. And then here we have Mercury in Sagittarius. Well, not just Sagittarius at the beginning of the year, but Mercury in fire signs, moving between the two of them all year symbolically, asking us to envision what's possible for ourselves so that we can redefine our life and move into the future we dream of. And this is particularly characterized by the North and South Node. As I said, the South Node is in Libra currently. So we've got all the air signs involved. The North and South Node are known as the dragon's head and the dragon's tail. The dragon's head is where we're moving towards. The North Node is where we take things in. The dragon's tail is where we release things. So heading back here, if we look at Aries, Aries is the sign that is about being courageous. It's the sign of the hero. It's the sign of heading out on an epic quest, of claiming your place in the world. So the path forward is having the courage to claim authentically where you want to be in life. And what we have to let go of in Libra is where we arrange ourselves such that we are pleasing to others. And we have two eclipse seasons, one in the spring, March 25th, and then April 8th. And then we have another one in the fall, where the eclipses are on September 17th, and then October 2nd. Now, I'm going to focus on this secondary set of eclipses here, because what's very interesting is they take place when Pluto is retrograded back into Capricorn, that Earth sign, for the final time before November 19th, when it firmly moves into Aquarius. And the solar eclipse in particular, well, let's actually talk about both of them. The lunar eclipse on September 17th, for some reason I had trouble getting that out of my mouth, is the first in the sign of Pisces, which is where the nodes are going to shift to Pisces Virgo in 2025. And having a lunar eclipses are about release. They take place during the full moon, where we let go of things in Pisces. Pisces is a sign that has an issue with boundaries and escapism. So the question I would have for you to look at this eclipse is, where do I have a tendency to avoid and escape my own needs? They're lunar eclipses, lunar nodes rather. And this is a lunar eclipse after all. And the moon deals with our emotional needs. Where do I run into something that's overtly destructive, say alcohol and drugs? Or we could also ask ourselves where we escape into work, productivity, and busyness. So we abandon, we don't make time for how we want to move forward. But then we have this beautiful solar eclipse at 10 degrees of Libra on October 2nd. And Libra is how we arrange ourselves in our lives. It's looking for the good, the true, and the beautiful. So here's how I'm going to be using that eclipse, and really this year leading into it. I'm going to be looking at how I use time. Saturn is exalted in Libra. Saturn rules time. How do I use time to arrange my life? How can I use that time to arrange it in a more beautiful way? And in particular, I'm thinking of here what the Navajo, again, I'm in the Southwest in Arizona, call walking in beauty. To walk in beauty is to walk in truth. And the Navajo language is Hoso no Nahasha. I don't want to mispronounce that. And that's the Navajo term for the spiritual path of celebrating the sacredness of life, how we're all connected. To think and act in the beauty life, it sheds life in how we walk, how we move through life, physically, emotionally, how we explore our inner landscape, that territory of Pluto, our inner wilderness, and we see our connection, our relationship to all of life. And what's interesting to me is during this eclipse, Pluto will be moving through its last gasp, of Capricorn, which is a cardinal sign. The 4 cardinal signs are Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. And in the Navajo view, the 4 cardinal directions are the principles of the beauty way path. And in the Western view, we would say the equinoxes and the solstices are the cardinal points, the points of change and initiation and new beginnings. If we're walking on the beauty path, we're acknowledging that beauty exists within us, around us, all around us, surrounding us, in the same way that light reflects or refracts and creates a rainbow. We're acknowledging our sacredness, the sacredness of our dreams, the sacredness of our souls. And I'm going to use this Libra eclipse in this last gasp of Capricorn before Pluto firmly moves into Aquarius a month later, 6 weeks later, on November 19th, to look, after I've gone through this reimagining period throughout 2024, this re-envisioning period, at how I can arrange my life. Where do I want to give my time to? What do I want to create? How can I arrange that as I move firmly into 2025, which is a year of marked change? This is a transition year, 2024. But we want to look to really use it for self-development. We want to embrace and deeply look at ourselves. If you are in an early fixed sign, which is from the 20th approximately of a month to the 26th or so of the fixed signs, which are Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius, you are going to be most impacted this year by Pluto's initial move into Aquarius. You in particular want to look at how you can re-envision these parts of yourselves. This will be true as we go on for all the fixed signs. And it's not just your sun sign. Again, you can go to an app, you can go to various places on the web if you don't know, to look at your planetary positions. But the area of life that are going to be highlighted by Pluto, those are the parts of your life that are going from butterfly, or rather caterpillar to butterfly. I wish you a happy new year, and that 2024 be a year where you can walk in beauty.